Hi everyone, Peter here from Movement and Performance. And in this video today we're going to be covering how to plan the microcycle of the training plan. So the microcycle is essentially the smallest cycle of training that we go through, and it's usually 7 days long or a week long in order to fit into the calendar year and to fit into other cycles of training. So the first thing we need to establish is basically how many days per week are we going to be able to train. So in this example, we're just going to theoretically make something up. We're going to say 4. And once you've established that, what days are we going to be able to train? So for this example, we're going to say this athlete can train on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And the other days are going to be rest. Let's say they're active rest to promote recovery. So he has 3 rest days and 4 training days. So then we've got to establish what the training focus is going to be on the training days. So for this athlete, we're just gonna theoretically make up that they're going to be training on Monday speed, power, and lower body strength. And then on Tuesday, they're going to be training upper body strength, and also they're going to do some metabolic conditioning. So then on Thursday, they're going to be doing the same as Monday, and then on Saturday, they're going to be doing the same as Tuesday. So we have 2 speed, power, and lower body strength days, and then 2 upper body strength and conditioning training days throughout the week. So now what we need to do is establish what, since these are the same qualities, and also these 2 are the same qualities, we need to establish how it's going to differ on those days. We've got to establish which day is going to be hard and high, and which day is going to be light and low. So what we want to do is we want to undulate basically the volume and intensity throughout the week to allow recovery of certain systems. So for example, this might be a higher intensity day and a lower volume day, while this one might be a pretty similar session, but it just might be higher volume and lower intensity. So this session is obviously going to be more neurally taxing and probably less muscularly taxing, whereas this one, if it's higher volumes and lower intensities, then it's probably going to be less neurally fatiguing, but also probably more structurally fatiguing on the muscles. So we need to take that into consideration and not make every day a high day. Otherwise, we're going to surpass what we can actually recover from. And the same thing with the upper body / conditioning days. We need to undulate the volume and intensity throughout the week. So something to keep in mind is that speed, power, and lower body strength training is not going to influence upper body strength and conditioning as much as upper body strength and conditioning will influence speed, power, and lower body strength. So if we can, we would rather do this session prior to this session, because if we do this session before the speed session, we're probably going to be more fatigued than if we did it the other way around. So we're gonna make this one as our high day. This is going to be our higher intensity and lower volume day. So we're just going to use arbitrary numbers here. So this is going to be a 3 intensity and a 2 volume. And so this one here is going to be a 3 volume but a 2 intensity. So it's going to be lower intensity but higher volume. On the active rest days, these are going to pretty much be I'm going to keep it as 1 volume and 1 intensity, because we might do some active recovery type stuff, which is not going to really fatigue us. It's actually going to enhance recovery and promote recovery. So then after we do our heavy speed, power, and lower body strength day, we might want to have because it's going to be quite taxing, we might want to have this one as a lighter session. So this might be higher volumes but lower intensities. And then this one is going to be higher intensity but lower volume. So as you can see, throughout the week we're undulating sort of the intensities and the volumes to facilitate recovery of slightly different energy systems. And it's important to not undulate them dramatically. If we have one day where we're doing for our speed sessions, we're doing flying sprints, repeat drop jumps, and then we're doing a 1 RM squatting, and then on this day we're completely going the opposite direction and we're doing sets of maybe we're doing really heavy sled pulls, we're doing weighted no counter movement box jumps, and then we're doing squatting sets of 15. It's probably not best to have those two different sessions in the same block, because the focus is quite different and our body's probably going to compete for adaptations. So it's best to only undulate and differentiate these sessions by a small margin in order to still make sure we're training the qualities that we want to train. And same thing with these sessions too. So once we have that established, we can start then actually writing the exercises and the training microcycle. So I've got here an example of how this might look. So on Monday, this was our speed, power, and lower body strength day with higher intensities and slightly lower volumes. So we might do flying sprints on those days with drop jumps and back squats, 3 sets of 3. And then when we have the other speed, power, and lower body strength day, where we have slightly higher volumes, slightly lower intensities, we might not do flying sprints, we might do sled pulls. Obviously, this is quite a drastic difference, but it's trying to show the concepts rather than this actually being a training program. So sled pulls are going to be, we might do 15-meter sled pulls, so they're going to be a lot heavier and a lot less neurally taxing and probably more muscular effort. So with the power, instead of doing drop jumps, we might do box jumps instead, or weighted box jumps or something like that. And then with the back squats, we might do, instead of doing 3s at a heavy weight, we might do sets of 6 at a moderate weight. And then similarly with the Tuesday, this is our lower volume, higher volume, lower intensity upper body strength and conditioning day. We might have, if we pick whatever our strength exercise is, for example, we've got bench press here. We might do 3 sets of 6 at a moderate load, followed by bike intervals, which is probably going to be a lot less demanding on our joints and connective tissue than if we were doing running straight after we did sprints the day before. So we might do bike intervals with maybe more of a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio and longer durations. Whereas on the Saturday, which is our lower volume, higher intensity day, we might want to do heavier bench press, sets of 3, and then conditioning we might want to do more of a 1-to-2 work rest ratio, depending on what phase you're training in. And we might have also them of higher intensity. So instead of doing 45 seconds on, we're doing 15 seconds on, which is going to be a lot faster. So that's all for this presentation. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of it. And I'll see you in the next video.